My name's Luke Maley. I'm a junior physics pre-med major, and I'm helping to run Lumen, which is a UV sensor that we're designing thanks to the Research Like a Champion program through Harper. Basically, the summer before I came to Notre Dame, I was working in a melanoma research lab, and within the same week, my grandpa and my coach, who had been my mentor kind of for all of high school, were diagnosed with cancer, skin cancer actually. So it kind of became this recurring question during my commute: is there anything that we can do, that I can do? And it became this kind of pestering question that never really left, and it transformed into this kind of question which was more along the lines of, do other people have to go through this?
My name is Sarah Fracci, and I'm a senior biological sciences major with minors in poverty studies and international development studies. So when I was a young child, my grandmother was diagnosed with breast cancer. I'm from the Cleveland area, and she was living down in Florida at the time of her diagnosis. I was very close with her over the course of my lifetime, and so upon her diagnosis, it was really difficult for my family and for myself. After losing my grandmother, I decided that I wanted to become involved in any way that I could. So my father owns a floral shop in Mentor, Ohio, where I live, and I decided to start up a project with him. We had the idea of handing out pink carnations to locals from the area, breast cancer survivors, breast cancer patients, family, anyone who was interested in kind of joining my efforts, and I ended up raising money for the Breast Cancer Research Foundation. That event kind of inspired me and led me to believe that I could continue being involved over the course of my lifetime. So upon coming to Notre Dame, I decided to seek out a PI who was doing breast cancer research similar to the research I had been doing. And I came across Dr. Siwan Zhang, who is a researcher at the Harper Cancer Research Institute. Dr. Ziwan's enthusiasm for his research and his laboratory was just really contagious, and it really inspired me to continue on with my research efforts. So I've been in his laboratory for the past 4 years, and it's really been such a wonderful experience in that not only have I been able to kind of delve into the sciences even further, but I've really developed a family and a network of individuals who are there to support me through these efforts, mentally, emotionally, as we are tackling a very sensitive issue. Almost everyone in our lab has been affected by cancer, so ultimately the Harper Cancer Research Institute has not only allowed me to explore research here at Notre Dame, but also across the globe, specifically in Uganda. While I was designing my research with the Uganda Cancer Research Institute, I came across the Research Like a Champion grant.
So the Research Like a Champion program is funded by a benefactor to Notre Dame who said, the next greatest thing might not necessarily come from looking at some biochemical pathway. Who knows where it's going to come from? It could be some Star Trek-y thing. It could be some app that somebody like me is never going to think about. And he said, let's let the Notre Dame students be creative. You don't have to be even a science student to necessarily come up with what the next best thing was.
So the Research Like a Champion program basically is $12,500 that they give to undergrads and graduate students working in a team or by themselves to work on some project that is either treating, curing, or working on preventing cancer.
I decided to research breast cancer in the developing world. So I was able to partner with the Uganda Cancer Research Institute in Kampala, Uganda. And through the collaboration with an oncologist there, I was able to set up a research investigation on this idea of stigma. A lot of women in Uganda and other African nations really deal with a large sense of stigma in that there's not a lot of extensive knowledge behind the disease. So a lot of the women are not only facing the disease internally, but also facing a society that doesn't really understand their diagnoses.
So basically the entire reason that we exist is because of the Research Like a Champion program. We kind of came in freshman year, and I talked to a couple of friends about this idea that I had, and we really thought it was going to kind of fall flat and remain, as we call it, in the notebook forever. But essentially we ended up applying to the Research Like a Champion program after hearing about it from a poster, and after winning, we were able to sort of actually start developing our technology.
It's a really interesting way to look at things that allows the creativity of students that don't have preconceived notions about how things work to really shine through.
When we started approaching people like patent lawyers and doctors, it wasn't just, hey, we have an idea. It was, hey, we have an idea, and the backing of Harper and $12,500 to kind of start pursuing this. So it added this sort of legitimacy that brought down a lot of barriers that otherwise we would not exist today. Harper, a lot of the faculty, professors, doctors, coordinators at Harper have helped us along the way with everything from accessing those funds, to meeting people in dermatology, to just even running ideas by. That's been kind of a continuous thing from day one.
So the Harper Institute started because Mr. Mike Harper, who is a South Bend native, lost his wife to cancer, and their family decided to start a cancer research institute here in South Bend. He's a South Bend native. I never had the opportunity to meet her, but their family foundation had an affinity for Notre Dame. One of his grandchildren is an alum, and they decided to start the institute. But I think everybody is touched by cancer, and if not their immediate family, they will be, or a friend, or a relative, or your friend's parents, or something like that. And so, it's really something that everybody has to deal with at one time or another. I lost my dad to cancer when I was a grad student. He was a Notre Dame alum. It's been a long time, but you think of everything you missed. So he never met my husband. He doesn't know his grandsons. And you think of what cancer takes away from families every day. So we need to change that.
So with skin cancer, the main statistic that you see all the time is the majority of cases are preventable. So essentially we said, can we help people minimize the UV exposure they're experiencing during the day? Basically, the amount of time they spend in the sun. So with that, we kind of took it and ran, and now we're making what's essentially a wearable, which gives you personalized UV data, really just tracks the amount of time you spend in the sun, coupled with the intensity, to say, okay, now you need to be worried about your time in the sun, or now you need to go put sunscreen on. We're really kind of envisioning something that goes beyond technology here, because it is technologically based. But at the same time, if you're going to create a sort of behavioral change, you need to work kind of within these structures that already exist, like communities and like doctors' offices.
So what we have on campus here is the ability to have faculty and trainees that want to work together. We have a lot of faculty in engineering, for example, and physics, mathematics, chemistry, biology. We collaborate with clinicians and really bring in all the different disciplines together to try to address one particular problem.
So we were actually able to start producing the prototype, which we have today, and we're able to start reaching out to people who took us seriously because we had backing from Harper and funding from the Research Like a Champion program. So these things that once would have been kind of just an idea, like on a piece of paper, had really been transformed into the real world, and we're kind of still working on it from there.
Harper Cancer Research Institute is really great in funding these undergraduate research projects so that they kind of show value and respect to the undergraduate students. So again, that they're inspired and kind of an instilled feeling that they're doing something important in this battle towards creating solutions for cancer.
Throughout the entire process, Harper has been there for us in terms of connections, in terms of running ideas by them, in terms of connecting us to people that we just needed to be connected to, including dermatologists, including people in the local community. So that's been absolutely fundamental to the entire existence of Lumen.
My time at Harper Cancer Research Institute has really been invaluable in that I've really created a community and a family of friends in the Zhang laboratory. My PI, Dr. Zhang, over at Harper, refers to his lab members as his children, and he really treats them as so, and I really respect that. And this kind of suggests the Notre Dame family extends over to Harper. There really is a community of individuals that I can rely on to continue my passions in the science field, and also to know that I am supported and loved by other individuals as I take on this journey.
One of the questions that we get asked a lot is, how can we make a difference in the fight against cancer without a medical school at Notre Dame? And I think we really have a lot to contribute in that realm, because it's really research that cures cancer. It's basic research that drives the innovation that results in new early detection systems, that results in new therapies, that results in imaging agents and that sort of thing. So without the basic research like we're doing here at Harper, we would not have any more innovation to drive the next generation of cancer cures. And I think with our interdisciplinary research teams, the innovation that comes from that teamwork approach is really going to bring us somewhere. We have an unusually collaborative group of faculty here at Notre Dame. I've been at a lot of places in my career, and the faculty here want to work together and they want to do the right thing. We have a group of really dedicated, bright, energetic trainees that are helping us make a lot of progress, and we're going to get there with the Harper approach.